For me, for a Snow White movie, that moment should have been the pinnacle of romance. Instead, felt like a casual, "Oh, wake up, man, let's go." Despite some frustrating choices, CGI dwarves. Welcome to Ken Reviews. I'm Ken, Mr. I'm gonna watch it, so you don't have to. And this is the review for Snow White. You've got this far. If you enjoy anything film, TVs, movies, video games, or theatre, this is the place to be. Hit the subscribe button. That way, let's discuss.
What did you think I was?
Nothing. Ghost.
Once upon a time in the mystical kingdom of Hollywood, a tale as old as, 1937 was dusted off and given a fresh coat of CGI. Snow White reimagines the classic Disney princess tale, keeping the core elements: an evil queen, a poison apple, a prince, or is he a prince? And of course, a Snow White, but with modernized visuals, a musical facelift, and some questionable choices. Is it a happily ever after or a missed opportunity? Let's dive in. Let's give credit where it's due. Rachel Zegler absolutely embodied Snow White. She was enchanting, delicate, and brought an innocence that felt just right. Vocally, she slayed. If you came for the singing, you'll leave satisfied. Then there's Gadot as the evil queen. Given a measly amount of screen time, she delivered an acceptable performance. Her transformation into the old Gadot, nightmare fuel. So well done there. Now, let's discuss those CGI little people. Look, Disney had the golden opportunity for inclusion here, and they swerved harder than a Mario Kart player dodging the blue shell. With legendary actors like Peter Dinklage, Tony Cox, Warwick Davis, and Jason Acuna out there, how did we end up with digital dwarfs? There were a few casted, but I feel it would have made a huge statement having them all casted properly. Hollywood, take notes. Real representation matters. Consultants from the little people were involved, so why not just cast them? If there's one thing Disney rarely fumbles, it's production quality. Visually, Snow White is polished to perfection. When the film needed to pop with bright, whimsical colors, it did. When it needed to plunge into dark, eerie despair, it nailed that too. But let's talk about the real star in this film, the music. Ben Pasek and Justin Paul, the minds behind The Greatest Showman, Jack Feldman, Jeff Morrow, and the original Snow White composers turned this soundtrack into an absolute feast for the ears. The songs felt grand, powerful, and packed a fresh charm that kept the magic alive. So let's break it down. The film plays things safe, almost too safe. The story follows a predictable path, which we already know from how many years ago, which isn't necessarily a bad thing for a children's movie. It's simple, digestible, and easy to follow. But simplicity doesn't mean you should cut corners on emotional weight. And speaking of emotional weight, the wake-up kiss. What happened here? No build-up, no swelling heroic music, no sense of true love conquering all. Just a quick peck and boom! Snow White's up and we're moving on like we're speed running a fairy tale. The chemistry weren't there. It felt like pen pals kissing, or let's just find the closest thing to handsome on screen and get him to kiss Snow White to break this kiss. It just didn't feel like these two were in love. I didn't get it. For me, for a Snow White movie, that moment should have been the pinnacle of romance. Instead, felt like a casual, "Oh, wake up, man, let's go." Despite some frustrating choices, CGI dwarves, Snow White is still visually impressive and a musically enchanting experience. Kids will eat this up. It's bright, engaging, and doesn't linger too long on any one thing. For adults, it might feel a bit rushed and lacking in emotional depth. Is it a game changer? No. But is it an enjoyable, family-friendly flick? Absolutely. Despite the bad press, as a movie, this one here was a good watch. However, Disney, next time, maybe look into your magic mirror and ask, how can we do better? Is this the best Disney remake out of the lot for you? Were the little people such an issue for you? Because I like to see representation, all sorts. Is Snow White a franchise that can be expanded on? You know the story, eats the apple. Can we go any further than that? If you enjoyed these reviews, hi ho, like, comment, and subscribe. That way, let's discuss.